you're a photographer, also, as a photographer, oh my God, it is such a pressure. So I don't know you know, everyone's different. You know, maybe you don't care. Maybe you're very confident, you do your photos and you're fine. But I've heard too many times, more than I can count. I've heard stories of, you know, photographers that were friends with a couple and they did the photos and the photos did not turn out to be what they wanted them to be, what the couple wanted the photos to be. And that's pretty bad. So in this one case, the one that comes to mind, the photographer, he was a fantastic fashion photographer here in New York City, very, you know, well-regarded, acclaimed, you know, award-winning fashion photographer. He worked for all these magazines, great. And so this girl, you know, was good friends with a friend of mine, and so she had him do the photos for her wedding, and that was so bad because this person has no idea how to shoot a wedding. Shooting a wedding is a totally different ball game. Okay, shooting an event is very different than shooting fashion. The lighting, I can go on and on. It's so different. You have to be a proper wedding photographer to do weddings. There's a technique, there's a knowing, and there's a lot of practice, because when you're shooting a wedding, you have to be so fast and you have to know exactly how to capture those moments, those spontaneous moments, those candid photos. That's what it's all about. You cannot be posing people all the time. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that's one, because the best photos in anyone's weddings are the candid photos. Those are the ones that are going to go on the wall, not the ones that are super posed. In addition to that, a good wedding photographer knows to go for those classic shots of the little details. They know to photograph the food. I know it sounds silly, but yes, you do want to have photos of the food. Everybody does. The shoes, the bridal bouquet, hair and makeup, you know, the little details, the close-ups with the family photos. They usually know, you know, they have a list of the people that they want in the photo, because the couple will always forget. When it is your wedding day, you're being pulled in 5 different directions, and there's a lot going on, and you forget that you need a picture with Aunt Doris and your cousin Vinny and whoever else. But the photographer will know that. The photographer will tell you, okay, now immediate family, now we're going to do siblings, now we're going to do extended family, now we're going to do everybody, now we're going to do best friends. You know, they know to look for those things, because they know that later on, a week or 2 later, you will want to see those photos. And if you don't have them, you'll be like, oh man, I forgot to get a picture with Cindy, right? But that can only be done with a proper wedding photographer. So if you have a friend who does beautiful photos and he's always taking photos of birthday parties and landscapes and whatever, and I'm sure they're very good, but there's more to it than just taking nice pictures. There's a lot more to it. So, okay, I know I went somewhere else, but I'm telling you, as the friend who is a photographer, don't do it unless you are a proper wedding photographer and you've done this for 20 plus years, and you know it's like second nature to you and you don't care. Fine. But also, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to work at your friend's wedding? Because if you are a photographer and you are hired to do the photos, you're not going to enjoy the wedding. You're going to be working all the time. So why would you say yes to that? Say no. Recommend them someone else that you know and tell them this is for the best. This is for everyone. You know, many years ago, I had a dog who, of course, I adore, I love. And one day, my dog almost died. She had a miscarriage, and it was really traumatic. It was horrible. Anybody who lost a pet knows what it feels like, right? I was devastated. I was nuts. I was really, really broken up. And we had a friend who's a vet. He was a professor at the university. That's how good he was. And he was obviously a surgeon. He refused to operate on my dog because if anything were to go wrong, if my dog doesn't wake up from the operation, imagine, our friendship would be tarnished, or I would probably not, but he was cautious. He was careful not to have me associate him with my dog dying. Luckily, she didn't die. But the anecdote is that he didn't want to do the operation, even though he was the best. But he had his assistant, his coworker, his colleague, do the operation instead. He didn't want to be there. And I know it's dramatic. A wedding is not a dog dying, but it's kind of the same. The same principle applies. If you are a professional and a friend of yours asks you to work at their wedding, my advice to you is to say no.